It really shows how you can apply many of the financial measures that are standard practice in the for-profit world to nonprofit programs and government programs. So it goes through an analysis of those programs, describing what they are, and then goes into the detail on the mathematics of computing a dollar invested in these programs by either individuals or foundations or government, what the return is on that dollar, either $3 return for every dollar invested, or you can also explain it in terms of a dollar invested earns you a 10 or 15% return over a 5 or 10-year period. It's really, I think it's important to be data-driven in presenting the stories about many of these good nonprofit and government programs. Particularly in the governmental arena, resources are scarce, as everyone knows, and so it's become more and more important as budgets are cut and resources are reallocated to know where, in effect, you're getting the highest payoff for the taxpayer dollars. Clearly, with respect to well-run job skill training programs, there's a tremendous payoff when you take someone from a life of dependency on social support systems, as well as some criminal justice system expense, and move them into being a productive employee paying taxes, payroll taxes, sales tax, income tax. Tremendous advantage to the taxpayer in moving someone from negative costs to very positive revenue contributions. And that's a big win for the taxpayer. I'll just pick one out that has both a human element to it as well as a high financial return for the taxpayer. And that's a program that Bill Roddy, a former tennis star, African-American out of Chicago, came up to the Twin Cities, was in the electronics business, began to devote a considerable amount of time to training young men who were incarcerated out of the Glen Lake Home School in the Minneapolis suburb, teaching them computer skills. Out of the 400 individuals that were out there at Glen Lake, about 100 went through his computer training program, and he was able to drop, the statistics show that he was able to drop the recidivism rate, the reentry rate, from 50% down to about 30%, which was significant when you figure that each inmate out there at that facility cost the taxpayer somewhere between $60,000 and $70,000 a year. In addition, then, he took several of his graduates, the 100 that had gone through the program, had them teach do a partnership with the Minneapolis Park Board, Parks and Recreation Authority, and in the troubled neighborhoods of Minneapolis, had those individuals teach young men from the community computer skills, and the recidivism rate for those teachers dropped to about 15%. So in total, he was able to, with a program, drop the recidivism rate, the reentry rate, from 50% down to 15% for a number of the kids, young men that were incarcerated out there at Glen Lake. Huge savings for the taxpayer. With individuals, many of us relate to one concern more than another. Our primary focus may not be initially the economic value of that organization, but for many individuals, it is a factor. In addition to doing what's fair and just and right, the added benefit that'll tip some people over in terms of wanting to contribute is that in addition to all of that, doing what's fair and just and right, they're also improving the economics of the community.